Welcome to Family Basics 101. I'm Dr. Bruce McClure, and as we continue our series on adult topics, today we will discuss the adult topic of adult relationships. Relationships are defined as being connected and associated in a healthy affiliation one with another. Adult relationships are seen as somewhat of a kinship or a commonality. Adult relationships involve an interrelating of emotions, convictions, attitudes, spirit, soul, and body. The entire self must be presented in order for healthy adult relationships to really be sustained over time. Adult relationships requires a specific set of goals, ideology, and passion that is similar in the accomplishments of the specific objectives of those involved or engaged in the adult relationship. Relationships for adults to qualify as healthy must be reciprocal by all parties participating in whatever the venture might be, whether it's social, whether it's business, whether it's spiritual, or whether it's a personal, intimate relationship. But there must be a reciprocal, in other words, what is being given into the relationship by one should be equally invested in by the other. If it's just a one-sided, one is given and one is taken, then that relationship is conveying to the other party that it is not an important relationship, or individuals do not know how to properly contribute to a healthy relationship. Relationships that are important to an individual that does not have a spirit of regard for you probably should be approached with caution at the least and avoided, if possible, at the worst. Unhealthy adult relationships are filled with some of the following: high amounts of stress, perpetual frustration, ongoing confusion, constant miscommunications, escalations in resentment, anger, and bitterness. And then they're filled with mistrust. And those are not healthy relationships for any individual to be in, whether it's business, whether it's social, whether it's relational. Unhealthy relationships have a negative impact on a person's physical, spiritual well-being. There's a healthy relationship wheel, and that healthy relationship wheel actually describes what a productive adult relationship should possess. If I was to show you the wheel, and I don't know how legible it would be on the screen, but that healthy relationship wheel looks something like this. And on that relationship wheel, in the center of that wheel is equality. And the exterior of the wheel is filled with nonviolence. But this is a healthy relationship wheel that should be in place if you are in a relationship at any level with anyone. First, every healthy relationship must be surrounded by nonviolent attitude. That was the outer circle of the wheel. And then every healthy relationship that adults engage in should have at its center and a mindset of equality. That as a male in a relationship, I'm going to be not just equal, but I'm going to treat the other person with an equity about them, a value. As a female in the relationship, that female is going to be treated with value and worth as one who participates in the relationship as well. And then the spokes on the wheel of the relationship, the healthy relationship wheel that you saw, is surrounded by things like trust and support, non-threatening behaviors, financial and economic interdependence, where each person in the relationship values the contribution one from the other, and when there's a value of interdependence, that actually creates independence within the relationship. There's a fairness that drives the relationship. There's also a responsible parenting, to where in the parenting, if it's a marriage relationship and children are involved, that the parents understand that if we're both in this relationship, then we must both participate in the parenting of the children that God has blessed us with. There must be honesty and accountability within a healthy relationship of adults. And then there must be connections with others. The relationship must have connectivity. The first line of connectivity in the relationship should always be with the participants in the relationship. If it's a husband and wife, they must be connected. If there are children within the relationship, the adults must ensure that the children maintain a connectivity to the first relationship, and that's the home. The relationship must maintain a connectivity in order for it to thrive. It must have honesty and accountability. It must show responsible parenting. There must be a level of fairness. There must be financial and economic interdependence, which also contributes to independence within the relationship. There must be non-threatening behaviors, and there must be trust and support if the adult relationship is to thrive and be productive in the long term. In the book of Amos, chapter 3, verses 1, 2, and 3, Amos, who some calls the minor prophet, and the only reason it's considered a minor prophet is because of the size of the book, not the content of the book. Because the book of Amos is just as relative and just as significant as a message to God's people as the book of Jeremiah or the book of Ezekiel or the book of Isaiah. But in the message, Amos 3, hear this word that the Lord hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. Now the question is, what in the world has Israel done? God says the problem is you've not acted properly within the relationship. God says, I don't deal with one-sided relationships. I brought you up out of the land of Egypt. I chose you when you were not a people. I've loved you. I've provided for you. And we are together. And then he says, can two walk together except they be agreed? In relationships, there must be an understanding of where you've come from, where you are, and where you're going. And are we on the same page as we travel the road? I'll see you back in class again next time. Don't be late and don't skip class.